I asked him how many hours a week he spends working or trying to sell houses, because technically he still has a real estate license, so technically he's still a realtor. He said 15 hours a week approximately is how many hours he works per week. Grown man, grown able-bodied man with transportation and no childcare to worry about, says he works 15 hours a week, which I think is kind of a high estimate. I'd put it more at like 0 hours per week. So $326 a month for 2 kids. Fun, right? And this is after I was super gracious and let him keep his parenting time.
Yo, what is going on, guys? We have here today a video from the modern king of a woman who decided to divorce her husband, but she is not as happy as she thought she would be, okay? She thought that she would ride into the sunset, she would take, you know, bucket loads of money, she'd be able to leave with the kids and the kitchen sink, absolutely everything, but things didn't go exactly her way, and now she's upset about it. And so, you know, guys, what better thing to do when you're upset than to come on the internet and to cry about it to total strangers as an adult. Fantastic stuff. But guys, before we jump into today's cringe, that is modern women out here on TikTok, I have just a little bit of an announcement to make. I've also made this announcement on a previous episode, or maybe it's the episode after this. But in any case, I feel the need to bring it up once again. You guys know me if you're a long-term subscriber of the channel. I'm not really interested in getting involved in drama. However, this time there's something that's a little bit different that's going on. It has come to my attention that a fellow content creator in this space by the name of MGTOW, MGTOW Alpha, has actually been stealing scripts from other content creators, I believe Insolent Audits included, but also Lock the Bounty Hunter, who is another Fiend Gang content creator. MGTOW Alpha is straight up stealing scripts from people, running them through AI, and then passing the videos off as his own, and assumedly trying to make money off of those videos. So guys, if you see, you know, videos from MGTOW Alpha, please keep that in mind if you choose to watch them, and also be on the watch for other channels who are perhaps, you know, copying your favorite content creators, okay? Maybe you guys watch other people in this space, but it certainly seems to me that there are a lot of thieves who are coming out, and it's one thing to kind of, you know, cover clips, and this is a space where a lot of this falls under fair use, you know? People comment on each other's videos, or they find especially cringe clips, and people kind of share them around, and it's kind of understood that that's part and parcel for recording content. But literally, this man is so incredibly cringe. He's stealing scripts from Lock the Bounty Hunter, Insolent Audits, and probably others. So I thought it was wise to probably mention that before we jump into today's episodes. So guys, excuse me. So guys, just, you know, keep your eyes peeled if you see this sort of thing going on, because obviously it's just incredibly cringe. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments.
I'm divorced. I thought I'd be happier, except the judge set the child support amount at $326 a month. $326 a month for 2 kids for child support is what he has to pay me.
If you ask me, guys, that is $326 too much. Okay, so this woman is complaining, at the moment at least, that she doesn't get enough money for 2 kids. I'm sorry, you divorced your husband. I thought you wanted full custody of the children. You see, guys, these girls, they want all of the benefits, right? They want to be able to take, you know, a man's kids away from him full time, by the way. So she doesn't want to give this guy custody, as far as I understand. But she still wants the dudes, you know, the dude to pay for absolutely everything, right? And let's be honest, okay, a lot of these women who are taking men for child support, you have to be a clown believe that this money is just going towards the children, okay? But guys, it's all strong and independent. I don't need no man. I'm going to divorce my husband until the bills come in, and then we start crying and complaining that we're not getting enough money. As far as I'm concerned, guys, if a woman isn't your girlfriend, wife, you know, when women leave a man, I find it disgusting that they still feel entitled to the benefits of being with that man. You want the kids to be looked after? Okay, don't take them away from him. That would be a good start.
$326 a month because he's not working, because he chooses not to. I was able to cross-examine him, which was fun. And I asked him how many hours a week he spends working or trying to sell houses, because technically he still has a real estate license. So technically he's still a realtor. He said 15 hours a week approximately is how many hours he works per week. Grown man, grown able-bodied man with transportation and no childcare to worry about, says he works 15 hours a week.
I find it funny how women will get on here and they'll shame men, right? Oh, as a grown man, you're not working enough hours a week. Can you guys, imagine if I made videos and I was just out here shaming women because they don't spend enough time in the kitchen? Okay. Now, me personally, guys, I think that dudes should be working. I think it's, good for the mind. I think it's good for men to be out there working on their stuff greater than 15 hours in the gym, all of this kind of thing. But I find it funny how these parasites, right, these women who divorce their husbands and are trying to get money out of them, they're complaining about this because she just wants more money from him. You see what I'm saying? Like, imagine, guys, if I were making these videos and I was sitting here, going off at women saying, oh, you should be in the kitchen X amount of X amount of hours a week, or else you're not a real man. Get out of here with that shaming language. Now, I'm not saying that men shouldn't work, guys. Again, I think that work in at least some capacity is really healthy for a guy. Working on your craft, whatever that may be, going to the gym, these are fantastic things. But the shaming language comes out because we don't get enough money from men. Like, you see what I'm saying? He doesn't do enough money do enough work to give me money as his ex-wife. I'm sorry, but you shouldn't be getting any money at all. You're single, you're a strong, independent woman. That means you can handle your problems as an independent woman. Which
I think is kind of a high estimate. I'd put it more at like 0 hours per week. So $326 a month for 2 kids. Fun, right? And this is after I was super gracious and let him keep his parenting time. The guardian ad litem recommended 0 parenting time for dad. Isn't it funny, guys, how she says here, oh, what'd she say? I let him keep some of his parenting time. Wow, what a gracious individual you are. See, this is why men don't want to marry these women. This is why men don't want to have kids with a lot of these modern women, is because the risk is so damn high where if a woman feels like it at any given point in time, she can leave you, she can take you for money, and then she can take your children away from you. And you have women like this in particular who feel like they're generous individuals because they only took away his kids for X amount of time, but they could have taken the kids for the whole damn time. Like, get out of here. And men are still expected to participate in a society that does this. This is the crazy thing that gets me, guys, is, people will still expect chivalry from men. They'll still expect, men to defend their country, okay, when this is the reward that men get, right? Oh, yeah, step up and provide for a woman and take care of a woman, and this is the potential road that you go down. Now, I'm not saying all the old police come to the channel, oh, Taylor's saying all women will do this. I'm not saying that every single woman will do this, okay? But what I am saying is pretty much every single woman has the ability to do this. Okay, so it's a very dangerous thing for men to engage in. Okay, you can jump out of a plane and you can, take your parachute, but if the odds are really high that your parachute is not going to work, would you still jump out of the plane? The answer is probably not. Okay, and these are the individuals that cry and complain and make more videos, saying that they regret everything as they get older and they have 25 cats, and I sit here and I laugh at them on video because it's absolutely hilarious. But let's continue on to the next clip.
In Pennsylvania, the courts decide in a divorce based on equitable distribution. Equitable distribution does not mean equal division of assets. It means what the court considers fair. The biggest factor the court's looking at is the difference between the parties' incomes. What the court may not consider is if your spouse cheated. If your spouse cheated, it has no bearing on how the assets are going to be allocated between the two of you. The only thing that will matter if your spouse cheated is whether you're going to have to pay them any type of alimony. It's a factor the court would consider if you were making more money. If you make less money than them, the fact that they cheated has no bearing on your divorce.
If you weren't treating divorce like a side hustle, you wouldn't care that you're not getting any alimony or equal division of assets.
Here's the thing about, all of this court intervention and, men have to pay X amount of money. Let's be honest, guys, okay? When these divorces happen, it is typically not the women who are paying, okay? Right? It's typically the guy who's paying. It's typically the man who's giving away his money. And typically, there is an unequal distribution because women don't chase dudes who make less money than them, particularly for marriage, okay? Women really do not. They'll get, there'll be some guy in the comments who will say, well, I knew this couple and he married him and he earned less money. Okay, that's great for you, John. You're 1 out of 1,000, right? But for the rest of you, it doesn't make the rule, which is that women are going out here, they're marrying dudes that earn more money than them, and then they're treating divorce like some sort of side hustle, like this channel says, or payday, okay? And my thing is, I don't think that the government should be involved whatsoever in these things. I don't care the circumstances. I don't think cheating is the right thing to do. I don't think cheating is a good thing to do at all. I think it's disgusting, okay? It's just funny to me how the government has to get their hands in absolutely everything and assist in completely screwing men over. Also, I want to say one more thing about this infidelity stuff, okay, which is that I'm sure that there are circumstances where men cheat, but I think a lot of guys stay in marriages because they know they will lose a lot of money, right? They can have a wife who's awful, who yells at them, who treats them terribly and things like this, but the guy knows that if he leaves, he's going to lose pretty much everything and he's going to lose his children. So essentially the relationship is already over, but guys get screwed. The difference is that men get screwed on the way out. Okay, this is why, I'm not justifying this, I don't think it's a good thing, but this is why men will go see other women, right? Is because they don't even have a wife, they don't even have a girlfriend, they just have a liability. If they divorce them, they lose the kids and everything in the process. Again, not saying cheating is right, but I don't think government intervention should be there at all. And there is a reason why a lot of these guys completely check out of their relationships with their wives, but are, basically forced to stay in them. There are dudes who will lose millions of dollars, millions, and their kids if they leave their wife who treats them terribly. Let's continue on to the next clip.
I mean, when you look to marry someone, you also want to see them as someone you can possibly divorce.
We were talking about whether there should be no-fault divorce or fault divorce. We were also talking about, should there even be marriages today?
Well, I mean, I love marriage. I've done it a few times. So, that's my thing,
A few times.
And I hate to say, in my younger day, I used to see it as a sport. I got married for sports. I did get married for the wrong reasons because a lot of women, they don't know how to, cash in on a marriage.
Oh,
But I had the formula, so I did it for fun.
Huh?
Have you guys noticed that some of my videos have gone missing over here on YouTube? That is because I am slowly moving them over to locals where I can actually host them without the risk of getting in trouble. If you are not aware, many creators are starting to move over to places like locals, Rumble, etc. because YouTube is not really a free speech platform. So if you are interested in supporting the channel and getting access to videos that are no longer available here, make sure that you come and join us over on Locals. The link will be in the video description down below. Supporters get access to their own exclusive videos that are no longer available to the public. So make sure you go to the link in the description and join us over there now. But anyway, guys, back to today's episode.
Wow. Okay, wait.
Are these men who are marrying women like this, they've got to be blind, right? women like this are the problem. Okay, they don't actually care. Now, this woman right here is a lot more vocal about it than I think other women would be. I think a lot of other women perhaps would have the sense to shut up and not say things like this on camera. But there are a lot of these women who treat marriage, right, as not actually wanting to be a wife, not actually wanting to be, you know, a partner to someone, but rather just getting a payday, okay? They have no interest in taking care of their husband or becoming a wife or a good mother or, you know, honoring the vows that they make at their wedding till death do you part through thick and thin, all of this kind of thing, right? They don't actually have an interest in doing this, but we're going out here and we're specifically marrying dudes. We're getting into long-term relationships with men and trying to get money out of them, whether that be through divorce or through common law marriage. Okay, and it's absolutely disgusting. It's amazing that these laws are still in place, to be honest with you. But you can literally, you don't even need to be married to these women, guys. It's so incredibly scary, right? You can be in a long-term relationship, and in a lot of places, that will be considered as, you know, a marriage, essentially, in the eyes of the law, and women can still screw you over and take all of your things. A very, very terrifying thing for men. And women like this are just, honestly, guys, they're awful. Awful people.
Hey, okay, wait. What is the formula for cashing in on a marriage?
Did you guys see this? Look at this woman's face right here. See, this is the type of woman. Look at her. She's like, man, I'd do that too, but I wouldn't say it out loud. You know what I'm saying?
What is the formula for cashing in on a marriage? You know, marriage, doing marriages for fun.
Okay, so I mean, I kind of figure out the formula for it. I mean, you know, I can teach y'all that want me to, but that'll be another service. But yeah, one thing is with marriages, I mean, when you look to marry someone, you also want to see them as someone you can possibly divorce. And in a positive way.
Wow, wait. Say that again. Say that again.
When you get married to someone, you want to see them as someone you're able to divorce.
Yeah, see, this guy's smiling just because he knows he's getting content out of this woman, because he knows what she's saying is just so incredibly stupid that a lot of people are, you know, going to view this clip and give it eyeballs and things like this. Now, this man, excuse me, probably does not like this woman at all. And also the fact that she's saying that she would teach people as a service, let's be honest, okay? It's not hard to screw men out of money. Like, what do you need to do? Make an online course about how to divorce men and take their money? This is not a complicated thing, okay? Be with a man for a reasonable amount of time, you know, a man who's got some wealth that you want to be taking, and then take him to the courts when the relationship ends. Not that difficult. There you go, guys. Just save you $2,000 in some feminine energy coach course. Again, I bring this up every a lot of episodes these days, guys. But you know, if you're someone who's looking to make money, a lot of these women just straight up want to be lied to. Okay, now this woman's being honest in the sense that, you know, you can actually take guys out of all their money, but I see so many women on here, they get on here as dating coaches, they're divorced, they have no idea what the hell they're doing, and they literally charge thousands of dollars for their services. It's ridiculous. You know, just get on there, guys, tell them what a queen they are, you know, charge them $500 and you're off to the races. Right? The formula to making millions of dollars online is blow up the you know, the female ego, essentially. Let's continue on to the next clip.
Unique. I left a marriage after 15 years. I had 3 kids with the man. I had built a life with him, and I really wanted it to work. Deciding when it was time to leave, deciding that I had tried hard enough, deciding that yes, it was worth to take the risk of the unknown for leaving the known, which I had become very accustomed to over the last 15 years. And even though I was miserable, there was some security to it. There was a little bit of, at least I was comfortable in knowing what to expect.
Yeah, so the security, what she's talking about here. You see, guys, whenever we make videos like this, we can't be honest. We can't use direct language. Basically, she wasn't attracted to the guy, but he was paying the bills. There we go, right? Not that hard to say. You see, these women, they don't want to say this because it's really unflattering. But, you know, oh, I was miserable, but, you know, it was, at least I was secure. Right, I was comfortable. Okay, and what she's really saying is just that she didn't have to pay the bills or worry about these sorts of things. The reason why she's leaving now is probably because she's realized that she can check out and she can try and take him for a lot of money, and she can be secure while she goes out and has fun with bad boys.
The years would roll by, and every birthday I got the same card that said, next year will be better, I, somewhere deep inside, thought to myself, there's no way. And the only way that my life is going to change is if I leave. But I had 3 kids. And I was also thinking, wait, if my happiness means that I'm taking away the kids' happiness, and all of the guilt that came into play of, am I being so selfish that I want to leave this? And is it bad enough? But here's the kicker. The kicker is that if you are in a place where you are absolutely miserable, you're being treated horribly, whatever your circumstances are, but you know in your heart that the only way to change your life is to leave, let me tell you that you will carry guilt with you, that it will be extremely difficult. And when you are looking for people who you're like, okay, well, she left and look how her life turned out, and you're looking for examples, and your mind is researching for the evidence that you're going to be okay.
I'm just going to pause it here. So basically what we're doing is we're scouting for other women who have divorced their husbands and got money, right? What are the odds that we can walk away with money here and we don't have to work anymore? Like, can I keep getting child support out of him? Can I keep getting, XYZ payments out of this particular man? Let me just see what other women are doing. Okay, and I want you guys to notice how when we talk about leaving our husbands, when we talk about leaving our long-term partners, we don't actually get into the specifics of what the details are. Now, I don't want to hear this privacy argument. Oh, the women don't get into it because, they're just trying to keep it private for the kids. I'm sorry, but there's nothing private about announcing your divorce on TikTok. You might as well say why the divorce damn well happened, okay? But they never go into the specifics, and let me tell you why. The reason these women don't go into the specifics is because if they were to actually say why they were leaving, it's unflattering. Right, so we have to make up words. We have to say things like, oh, I was doing all of the emotional labor and I was miserable and he didn't treat me right. And then you start asking them questions like, yo, how didn't he treat you right? What did he do wrong? Oh, blah, 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 blah. But you never actually, they never say what he did wrong, right? Did he cheat on you? Okay, was there anything physical happening that was bad? We don't get into any of these sorts of things because typically they're not happening. We're just leaving because we want to go out there and have fun with Chad again, and we want to take money, and we're sick of this guy. We're bored of him. We're not attracted to him anymore, or maybe we weren't in the first place, right? So I just want to be back out there and for the streets. We don't actually say, what the man is doing wrong, because if we list it, we get into a logical argument, right? And we can't get into logical arguments because we'll lose them. We have to keep it nice and emotional and nonsensical so that people don't look into it too much.
I'm going to tell you that no matter what it is, that's the unknown that's on the other side. If you're in a situation right now where years are passing by and you are still miserable in a relationship and you're not being taken care of and you're not being seen and you're not being heard and you're just being alone in a marriage.
This is what I'm talking about. So he's not taking care of you. What does that mean? In what capacity, madam? Is he not paying enough of your bills? Is that what's happening here? I'm sorry, okay, are you cleaning the house enough? Let's have a talk about that. Are you making enough meals? Right? So you're not being taken... What did she say here, guys? Let's really run it back and listen to the nonsense of this, okay? You're not being taken care of.
Taken care of, and you're not being seen, and you're...
This is exactly what I'm talking about. You're not being seen. What, is your husband blind? Like, bro, let's... These are adults, by the way, guys. I'm not being seen. I'm not being heard. I'm just alone in this marriage. Can we use some actual adult language here, please? Right? So what exactly is happening here? Because, I'm hearing the words, but maybe I'm just not seeing you correctly. This is what I can't handle about these videos, man. It's just the level of dishonesty and manipulation that goes into them. And she'll say this. This is the funny thing about these clips is they'll tell everybody this, right? Oh, I just didn't feel seen, or I didn't feel heard. And then the girls will nod, right? They'll all be in on the nonsense. They understand, right? Women have this hive mind. They understand, like, oh yeah, he just wasn't attractive and he didn't make enough money. Okay, but we men will hear this, and a lot of guys will nod and try and be sympathetic. But in our minds, we're like, what the hell is even going on here? Right? If you don't know what this is as a man, you just kind of, you just think about it and you're like, okay, I guess, I'm sorry to hear that. And then you move on with your day because she said absolutely nothing. Hilarious.
You're not being heard and you're just being alone in a marriage. The unknown is terrifying, but there's nothing more terrifying than looking back and seeing all the years that you wasted living in fear.
I'm sure I'm not the only one who heard her talk about herself the entire time. She started to talk about how her selfishness would impact her kids just so she could feel better about herself.
Yeah, and here's the thing, right? These women know, before we jump into the next clip, right? They know inherently that they're being selfish and they're throwing away their marriage for no reason. So, you know, that's why she brings up concepts of guilt and all of this kind of nonsense, okay? If your husband was cheating on you, or if he was truly a bad person, trust me, guys, there would not be a fragment of guilt in that mind. Okay, if the husband was cheating or he did something awful, I guarantee you we would hear about it, but he doesn't, right? Let's jump into this last clip here. Excuse me. What does it say? Getting divorced in my 40s and remarried at 50. Oh, it's painful, guys. It's painful. Let's jump in.
My 40s, remarried at 50 years old, and here's what that taught me about love and happiness. Going through my divorce in my 40s, incredibly difficult, from being used to saying we to now trying to get used to saying I again. And then the biggest challenge, though, was being able to find myself in finding meaning again in all of it. I had to navigate through so many feelings because it really affected my self-worth.
We don't care.
Anyway, guys, make sure.
I guess that was the last clip right there. Yeah, guys, you know, we just have to navigate our feelings and navigate. I'm just going to navigate out of this video. I've had enough of these women. Holy hell. Guys, I will see you all in the next one. Make sure you take care of yourselves. Peace.